Let's review what we did on our quiz today. Everyone put your finger on the coordinate plane in part 1. What quadrant is this?
1.
Quadrant 1. What are my signs in quadrant 1? Someone tell me. What are they, Juliana? Positive and positive. We can check that by looking right here at our x and our y axis. What quadrant is this?
2.
Quadrant 2. In quadrant 2, what is our signs? Okay, is it negative positive or positive negative?
Negative positive.
Negative positive. What quadrant is this? Quadrant 3. What is my signs in quadrant 3?
Negative and a negative.
Negative and a negative. Okay, what is this quadrant?
4.
Quadrant 4. And what are my signs in quadrant 4?
Positive and negative.
Positive and a negative. What is this point right here at 0?
Origin.
That is my origin. What is the ordered pairs of my origin?
X and Y.
X and a Y, but what are they? Like what numbers?
0, 0.
0, 0. So today we are going to learn about reflection. I wanted to reflect over my x-axis. Show me with your arms your x-axis again. Yeah, it's horizontal. So I'm trying to reflect over or go over this x line or this horizontal axis, which is x. How do you think I would do that? If I folded my paper over at the x-axis, where would my plot be down here? How would I know? I would have to look at this ordered pair. So how many did we go over on our x-axis on this one? 3. So I would still go over 3 on my x-axis. Would be 3. But what about my 6? If it folds over, am I still going to go up 6? No, I'm going to do what? I'm going to go down 6. So I'm going to go down 6. And my new ordered pair is 3, negative 6. Does this check out? This is how we're going to check our answers. I want you to take it, and you're going to draw a line to connect the two. When I connected this point to this one, what line did I go on top of? What line did I cross through? X. So it's a reflection of which axis? The x-axis. Let's look at the two that they did for us. Look at the A. Put your finger on point A. Move your finger to point B. Which one did you cross over? X. So that's a reflection over what type of axis? The x-axis. Everyone put your finger on C. I want you to move your finger to point A. If I move my finger to point A, which one am I crossing over? Y. So that is a reflection of my y-axis. Pretend that the A is a spot of wet paint. If I fold my paper directly down my y-axis and open it back up, wouldn't my spot of paint be somewhere in this corner? Yes. So these are reflections because if we took our pen, like we said earlier, and we connected it, which one did we cross over? The Y. If I connected my A and B, what did I cross over? Yes. What if I had a point right here? Say this is point D, and this is point E. What is point D and E a reflection of? I would have to fold my paper diagonally. Let's trace it. That's how we find out, right? So D to E. That's not exact, but what did I cross through? What did I go past? The origin. If you cross, is the origin on my x-axis or my y-axis? Both. So that's a reflection of both axes. Is everyone with me right now? Right now we're just going to focus on reflections of the x-axis and the y-axis, but my last two classes had questions about what happened if we went through the origin. Right now and on your test tomorrow, I'm not going to ask you what happens if we go through the origin, but I would like you to be aware of it. You're on page 157. Is everyone with me? Okay, let's look at number 1. It says use the graph to answer parts A through F. It says write the coordinates of point A as an ordered pair. So what is the formula for my ordered pair? Or, well, not the formula. What's the order that my axes go in my ordered pair? Someone tell me. It was just on your test.
Wait, I didn't hear you.
Yes, X and Y. So to find the ordered pair of A, what's the first thing I need to look for? The x-axis. What do I always start at? The origin, or 0. So I'm going to go over 1 to the left or 1 to the right? To the left. So my x is -1. And then I go up or down to get to A?
Down.
I go down -5. So my y is -5. So this is my ordered pair. Everybody take a minute and write that down. Okay, it says reflect. When we're reflecting, we're thinking of what when we hear the word reflect? Yeah, we're thinking of a mirror, or you can think of folding the paper. I like folding the paper across the axis. So it says reflect point A across the x-axis. Is the x-axis horizontal or vertical? Horizontal. So our x-axis is our horizontal axis. So would we fold our paper hamburger style or hot dog style? Hot dog is this way, hamburger is this way. Hamburger. We're going to fold it hamburger style like we did in elementary school. And we're going to label the reflection B. So we're going to label that point B. And we're going to write the coordinates. So if point A is here, if I fold it hamburger style, which quadrant should it be in? Let's label our quadrants. What quadrant's this? What quadrant is this? What quadrant is this? Okay, and our last quadrant is quadrant 4. So if I'm going to fold it across, which quadrant would it land in? Which one? Quadrant 2. It would land in quadrant 2. My table right here. Please get with me. Quadrant 2. Where in quadrant 2, what am I going to look at to plot this point? Yeah, let's look at the x-axis. How many did we go over for A? Yeah, so we're still going to go over our -1, and then I've got to reflect it. So am I going to go down 5 or up 5? Up 5, because I want it to be a reflection. Let's check ourselves. If we reflect over the x-axis and we connect our points, does it make a vertical line or a horizontal line? It makes a vertical line, so let's check. Does that make a vertical line? Did I run into my x-axis? Yes, so I know that I reflected it across the correct axis because I ran into that x-axis. So now we have to write, let's label it B, and we have to write it as an ordered pair. So what is my, oh wait, that's A, my bad. Oopsie, B's up here. So I've got to write my ordered pair of this. What is my x? -1. What is my y? 5. So -1, 5. Okay, everyone look at part D. Look at part D. I'm going to move it up. My bad. It says explain the relationship between the coordinates of point A and point B. All of you talk about this in your tables for a moment. Let me remember where I was at. It says explain the relationship between the coordinates of point A and B. Did y'all have time to talk about it? Okay, take one more minute because the interruption. Okay, come back to me. Tell me what your table said. Are you telling me what your table said? Yeah, Addison, tell me what your table said.
They're the same thing but in different boxes.
Okay, so they're in different quadrants. What else?
Well, I'm going to ask if I can put it.
In a minute. What else? Okay, she noticed there was a sign difference, so let's look at it. Let's compare them. Everyone look at the ordered pair that we wrote down for point A. And then look at the ordered pair we put down for point B. Let's look at our x. What are our x's in this?
-1.
-1. They're both -1, right? So if I were comparing them like we did with inequalities, what would I say? Look at my word wall. What is my word that we use? Remember, greater than, less than, and equal to. So could we say that x is the same, or we could say equal in both? Could we say that? Do we all agree that that's acceptable? Okay, good. Get that down for a second. So we agree that x is the same. They are both -1. So in parentheses, so I know what I'm talking about, I'm going to write a -1. So when I study, I can go back and just look at the coordinate -1. Okay, everyone, look at your y coordinates. Talk at your table. The differences or similarities in your y coordinates. Go. Our y coordinates, what'd you notice? What are they? I've got a -5 and a 5. What's our term that we've already used? What are these? Yep, y coordinates are opposites. When we reflected across the y-axis, what type of line did we make? Tell me what type of line we made when we just reflected across the y-axis. A vertical line. Okay, let's keep moving. Look at E. Yes, look at E. I want you to try to explain the relationship between points A and C. Well, have we done C? Oh, we didn't label it. We did it. Reflect across the y-axis and label it point C. We labeled it wrong. My bad. This is supposed to be labeled C, and we skipped B. Oops. Let's skip B. Let's go back to B. Everyone go back. Let's correct my mistake. I'm sorry. Everyone go back to B. Yes. Start a pass. So I'm reflecting across the x-axis. If I reflect across the x, oh, I did do it right. This is what we did. Okay, we did it right. I wrote it in the wrong spot. We did it right. Everyone just erase what you put right here. This is reflecting across the x-axis because look, it's folded what way? Hamburger style or straight across. You're folding it. Your line would be right there at your x-axis. I'm going to go back in with a different color marker so we can really tell what we're doing. That's my mistake. I'm sorry, guys. I just skipped one. Okay, so everyone look at C. We're reflecting point A across the y-axis now. If I'm crossing across the y-axis, which way am I folding my paper? This way or this way?
You said Y?
Y-axis. Is my y-axis vertical?
Hamburger. Wait.
Y-axis. Show me with your arms. Is it vertical or horizontal? Y-axis. Okay, it's vertical. So if I need to cross across it, I need to go across my Y, I'm going to need to fold it this way. I need to have my line, how this one went straight across the x-axis. Now I need my line to go straight across my Y. So let's practice this. We're going to reflect the point A across the y-axis and label it C. We're going to write the coordinates of point C as an ordered pair. So I'm at A, and I want to reflect across the y-axis. So am I going to go up or am I going to go to the right? To the right. So if I reflect across my y-axis, it should be right here, correct? Yeah. So let's reflect it across and put point C. Everyone take a minute and get with me. How do I find my ordered pair of those points? What do I look for first? Remember, ordered pairs X, Y. So what do I look for first? Someone tell me. Someone at my yellow table, what do I look at first? Yeah, I'm going to find my X first. So I'm going to start at 0. Where do I go for my X? Where do I end up? Where do I end up? I'm reflecting across my y-axis, so my line went straight through. And then I'm trying to find my ordered pair. Addison told us that X came first. So I started at 0. To get to C, do I need to go to the left or do I need to go to the right? To the right, how many? 1. So my X will be 1. And then do I need to go up to get to C or down to get to C? Down. So if I go down, how many? Oh, I go down positive 5? Negative 5. So 1, negative 5 should be my ordered pair for C. Does everyone agree? If I'm reflecting across my y-axis, what type of line did it make? I reflected across my y, so I flipped over the top of my y. What type of line did it create?
X.
What type of line?
Horizontal.
A horizontal line. But if I reflect or cross over my x-axis, what type of line does it create? A vertical. Okay, I want you to skip E and F. I want you to do those for homework. Go to problem 2. Please open the door for Liberty. Go to problem 2. Try not to get crooked. Okay, problem 2. It says use the graph to answer parts A through G. So part A says write the coordinates of point F as an ordered pair. Okay, what comes first in an ordered pair? What comes first in an ordered pair?
X.
X. What comes next? Y. What quadrant is this?
1.
What quadrant is this one?
2.
Okay, what quadrant is this?
3.
What quadrant is this? Okay, so let's look at A. It says write the coordinates of F as an ordered pair. So, everyone put your finger on F. Okay, my finger's on F. I'm trying to write an ordered pair, so what's the first thing I need to find? What's the first thing I need to find? We wrote it up here.
X.
X, so I'm going to start at the origin, and I'm going to go over how many?
6.
To the left. Okay, I've got my X, now I need to find my Y. Do I go up or down? Down, how many?
2.
So negative 2. So negative 6, negative 2. That's our points for F. Well, now it's asking me to reflect point F across which axis? The x-axis. And label it reflection H. Write the coordinates of point H as an ordered pair. So first things first, which axis am I reflecting across? X. So am I going to go up or am I going to go to the right? Up. I'm going to go up to cross over my x-axis. So I need to look at what I have over here. I have what on this side? Negative 2. So do I go still down 2? How do I do that? I need to go up 2. Well, on this one I went over negative 6. Do I still go to the left or do I go to the right? If I folded my paper. Still the left? Okay. Okay, so I went over. Is this my reflection?
Yes.
Yes, I need to label it what? What did it say to label it?
H.
H. Now I have to write it as an ordered pair. What is the first thing I do to find an ordered pair? The X. What was our X?
6. Wait.
It was positive 6?
Negative 6.
Negative 6. Good job, Silas. Okay, well now I need to find the Y. So do I go up or down?
Up.
Up. How many?
2.
2. So is that positive or negative 2? So my order pair is negative 6, 2. Negative 6, 2. Okay, well now on part C, it's asking me to reflect point F across which axis? Which axis? The y-axis. And label the reflection I. Write the coordinates. So everyone, put your finger on point F. If I'm reflecting across the y-axis, do I go up or do I go to the right? I go to the right. Why? Yeah, because I need to cross across the y. So I know it's going to be in what quadrant? Quadrant 4. Well, I need to plot it now. So how do I begin? Let's look at our x like we do with an ordered pair. What was my x on this side?
Negative 6.
Well, now I need it on this side. So what would my x be if I went over the same amount?
6.
Positive 6, yes. And how many did I go down on this one?
2.
2. Do I go down 2 for the reflection or up 2?
Down.
Down 2. So it's going to be right here, and I'm labeling it point I. Now let's find our ordered pair. My ordered pair for point I, what would my x be? 6, positive 6. What would my y be?
Negative 2.
-2. So for that one, you are going to write in your ordered pair. I want everyone to look at this pair right here. These two ordered pairs. This is our reflections of F across which axis? F went across which axis? F went across the x-axis. What do you notice about these two ordered pairs? Let's look at our x's. What are these? These are equal. These are the same. But what about our y's? What are they? Opposites. Okay, for homework, you are going to finish number 1. I want you to circle it with me. Finish number 1. And then you are going to finish number 2. Number 1 and number 2 are worked out the exact same way. So if you get confused with our little error we had right here, even though we corrected it, you can just look at number 2 and it will help you. And then I want you to do number 3 on the back of page 160. You do not have to worry about the Remember Me problems tonight because everyone go to the exit ticket for 12. Mine is ripped out because I had to give it to another student. At the top of that exit ticket for 12, I want you to circle it or put a star. You are going to do that for homework. So the exit ticket 12 for homework along with these 3 problems. Tomorrow is your 10 through 12 mastery quiz. So go to your recap page for 10. Page 10 recap page. It is on page 127, lesson 10 recap page. Write the word study. You can also study your note cards for this section. It will help you. Study this page and study your note cards. For recap page 11, you are going to write study. I want you to study this whole recap page. Work through your homework problems. And we're also going to review tomorrow. I want us to make sure our ordered pair. What is the order of the ordered pair? What comes first? X. What's next? Y. Okay, then go to your recap page for 12. And you should have already wrote a little bit on it from this morning. Or from earlier this class. And I want you to also write the word study. For this one, I want to make sure you're recognizing that points are related by their reflections across one or both axes. If they go across both axes, what are they going to cross through? What will it cross through? What did we run into when it reflected over both? Our origin. So you know if it's crossing through the origin, it's reflecting over our y-axis and our x. So you are going to study those things tonight, and you can start working on your homework now. If you have questions, I'm going to walk around and help. So start working on that. If you need to work in your group on these homework problems, that's great. Help each other.
Okay, let's
Oh, I must not have hit it.